Hey, this is Del Rivers again for another exciting video. This is number 9 of my record collection. I still got a massive pile to go through, so don't worry about me running out of shows, that's for sure. Anyway, you see the mess I have in my room. I still got to clean it up. Once I get that cleaned up, I'll be able to get some guests here. People I could, show other people's music or people that I talk about, or stuff related to the Beatles, of course. But today's show, I'm featuring a group that, well, I'll start at the beginning. They were a mixture of a couple groups, the 11 Authors and one of the Insiders, one of the second Insider drummer, or third, Brian Goodman. Brian Goodman is one with the most groups, so I'm going to feature him second or last to show the other ones. There's a few that I might be missing, but we'll get through the pile that I have here, and if there's anything I forget, I'll just bring it next time, show it off or whatever. On one sad note, my friend George Schnell is a guy that, a producer I work with, other than Dave Anderson, passed away today due to like an Alzheimer's type disease, and I'm going to show a few things from his band, the Royals, or a couple things I have, and that'll be included at the end there. But anyway, let's start since we're already 2 minutes into the show itself. This is a group that I love. These guys, they're Projectiles. It became let's see if I can get the pile here. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not editing any of this out, unfortunately. I probably should. Jeez. So you get a pile of records, they're slippery and they slide all over the place when you got plastic bags. Anyway, here's the first 45, Projectiles. Some Things Never Change, and I Need Somebody, the cover of the Seeds song, I guess, or question mark and Mysterians. I don't know if you can see that. That's the cover right there. Projectiles, Some Things Never Change, I Need Somebody. And on the back, they actually showed their backs. Projectiles, show them walking away. That's great. Anyway, you got Dan Frank, lead vocal. Tony Pilato, he played for Fisa organ for the first couple of years. Brian Goodman, and Jerry Flanagan, the late Jerry Flanagan, speaking of passing away, and Kevin Kiefer on bass. That's the first single, I think, first or second. Then we got, I'll just drop it down there, that'll be good. The Projectiles, No Good Woman, and Nothing, I Want to Come Back from the World of LSD. That was always getting bands in trouble using the LSD ideas there. There's a decent picture of the group. Here's the back. Of course, Play Loud. As I said before, I'm still working on probably changing the camera so I can see better. See all the stuff a little bit better. This is a single that came out by accident, or was done in a different country. It's the Riviera Playboys, formerly the Projectiles. They became the Riviera Playboys. It's this single right here. I Can't Understand. It's written by, I think, or either Jim Lampert or Walt O'Brien from the Insiders. I forgot that they wrote that song. They do Love Man, Warning, and they actually had Bob Janik in the group on the left, and of course they got the Boston legend himself. I think it's him. No, that's the other drummer. I'm sorry. On drums is Knuth. I can't pronounce his name. It's Knuth, Knuth. He played drums with the Riviera Playboys in a few projects. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, here's the Projectiles CD. Actually, this one came out on an album, and then the CD came out a little while after. Hanging Out with the Projectiles. It's with Dave Anderson playing on there too. He's played with those guys, as well as runs Jargon Records and Saxon Recording. This happens to be on Screaming Apple. It's a Screaming Apple production. Projectiles. I guess they released it on CD. Let's see. And then after a while, they became the Dan Frank and Dave Anderson. They became the Riviera Playboys with Judd Williams on drums. There's the guys, Riviera Playboys on Jargon Records. They had Judd for a while, then he eventually moved to Boston and was in a lot of bands and knew the guys from the Cars, stuff like that. The last thing I think he did was a rockabilly guy. He backed up Jittery Jack. I should have remembered the CD, but I don't have it here. He was one of the guys that Judd backed up from the Riviera Playboys. Okay, and then we'll stick with Dan Frank. He started another band called the Franks. This is a unreleased or very limited edition CD. I'm not going to bother taking it out. Just then, now he's in the True Believers. Shoot, I got the wrong one here. True Believers. They didn't put title on this page. You can see it on the back. True Believers Unfiltered. It's hard to adjust this stupid camera. Okay. The True Believers Unfiltered. Dan Frank, the late Jerry Flanagan, and Joe Minotti on drums. Joe is actually from a group called the Royals, who I'm going to feature at the end here, with George Schnell. And I don't know if you can see that list of songs. It's kind of hard to see. I hate imperfection, and I gotta deal with it, I guess. And then the drummer Brian Goodman, the original Projectile guy, ended up in a group called The He started with The They did an album of Outsiders songs. This is all live Outsiders tunes with The kind of another limited release. Got that. And then he ended up with 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Here's one of the first CDs. He does a cover of a Rochester band. I can't remember them offhand. They did a song called Drambuie. Problems with, and then Drambuie. That was I love that song. It's really good. It's a garage classic. And they came out with Devil's Weed and Tamala. Another single by 1313 Mockingbird Lane. It's kind of a tie-in with the Munsters, if you want to know what that address means. And there's, at the very end, is Brian Goodman with the sunglasses and the hair over his forehead there, I guess. Here's another picture. 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Let's see, it's there's the people in the group, if I can get it. Haunted Houseman, Kim on organ. I can't read what it says. Somebody on bass. Ethan Link Roy and Brian Goodman. And then recently, the 1313 Mockingbird Lane guys, they came out with a CD of never before heard stuff. This right here, it's another another CD you could get with a showing a toilet. It's like their junk, leftover junk. They put it in the toilet. Here's the song list. If we can see without glare. Fucking glare in the way. Anyway. And then after a while, I don't know if this is before or after 1313 Mockingbird Lane, but Brian Goodman joined Susan and the Surf Tones. It's a band that Susan as well as Brian Goodman. And at one time, I think Judd played with them too, Judd Williams. Here's the back. It says the year 2000, so I imagine it's this is after Mockingbird Lane. Buck Malin, Brian Goodman, Kim 13 from, she came in from that other group. And Susan L. Yasinski. She has a lot of stuff going on now with the Surf Tones. This is Baja, Stinger, Blue Hammer, and GI Blues. Surf Waves Records. The last thing that Brian Goodman was in, I got right here. Why can't I get two of them? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is all one, I guess. This is a funny cover. The Knights of Fuzz. That was the new group. Knights of Fuzz. Which I think he currently is in right now. Or he's in a group doing something else. Or he's not in the group. I don't know what he's doing right now. It was Let It Go. Knights of Fuzz. There's the back. You can see the now very balding Brian Goodman in the front. Lost his hair like a lot of us did. I'm losing mine. I got late pattern baldness. Anyway, the guys from the Projectiles helped me with one of my projects. This is a Halloween party. Picture of my mom. My mom in the red hat. They helped me on this and had the features of the song My Little V6. It's a little car song that I did that I wrote with Ed Caruth. Brian Goodman plays on it, and Dan Frank and Dave Anderson on bass. I think Jerry Flanagan is on there too. They all kind of back me up on a few songs. It's kind of collector's item for people that are into the group that was known as second to Chesterfield Kings, other than the Insiders, the Projectiles. Okay, some more stuff. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one that, the last thing that Dave Anderson is in, or one of the things he's playing in the Cambodian Space Patrol, or whatever they're called. This is Kaleidoscopio. Recorded this in Spain with Knuth, that drummer Knuth I told you about. And there's a picture of him in the back. There's Dave running away. Now he's, like I said, he's in Cambodia or Australia touring with the Cambodian space group. Okay. Before I go into the last group, I want to show you a couple Beatles items I picked up from Record Store Day. This one right here from Cleopatra Records. The Psych Out Tribute to the Beatles. Magical Mystery Tour. Something like that. Yeah, or Magical Mystery. It's on Cleopatra. I got it at a Record Store Day. Gotta admit, the groups I never heard of. Some of these groups that, I'm not sure exactly who all of them are. I guess they're not Cleopatra. But they sound good. I mean, there's a few that stand out, but some kind of, I really hear their Beatles do it, just like any other cover thing, but it's pretty good. I think it was worth getting. And also this, Stax Recording Artists. They did like a White Album tribute kind of thing. Because these Stax. And it's all these different songs by R&B bands. I don't know if you can see any of that. A lot of R&B groups from the 60s, 70s doing Beatles songs. They put it all together in this one package. It opens up with a big history. It has a history all right there, and more, the song listings. If you go to any shop that's got the Record Store Day stuff, they might still have that album laying around somewhere. Okay, not much left here. I want to show you the Royals, they actually came out with cassette releases. These were in a flood, unfortunately, so I just could show you the inside parts. George, let me get it better up. Just too much glare. There we go. George Schnell and the Royals. Yep, immediate release. That was probably a promo. Just like this other cassette. He made this for me when I recorded stuff with him. Just stuff from the Royals. Don't feel like you're missing anything on that one. This is one of his singles. He actually, I think he did this with Jeff Tyzik, that guy that does band music stuff from Buffalo, New York. It's Are You a Dancer and Falling. The Royals. The Royals had Mike Hargraves and George Schnell. They wanted to have a sound that was in between Dave Edmunds and 10cc, and they got that sound a little bit on some things, but then, you know, Mike Hargraves, or Mick Hargraves, moved to New York City again, started his solo career, and George stayed here and had the Royals back him up on studio productions. It's, let me see if we can get that. Hearts Don't, well, I'll just read it. It's Hearts Don't Lie and Lost in Your Eyes. That's the B-side. The A-side was Are You a Dancer and I'm Falling. I'm falling apart here. Then here's the official CD that it came out with. All the best of stuff. It's called The Restoration, the best of 1982 to 1992. It had a big listing here. Really a lot of bang for your buck. I can't get it just right. Yeah. I apologize. And one of these days I'll get a better camera set up or figure out what to do about this. It doesn't have an automatic focus on it, so it's hard to... You just have to take my word for it. And George helped me out with 2 CDs. This one has She Walks Like a Robot. I was laughing at Man's Intelligence. I thought it was a pretty funny title. Laughing at Man's Intelligence with the Greeks. Parthenon. The Parthenon. It's Del Rivers and Friends. Actually, got noticed in free time. They actually voted it like a second or third greatest, you know, one of the releases from Rochester, New York, which I'm very proud of. And I did 20 years later another CD, which has one George Schnell song on it. George Schnell. It's a cover of It Comes to Me Naturally. It's at the bottom. It Comes to Me Naturally by the NRBQ. Did 2 versions of it. One was a studio trial, which is me on, you know, me singing and him playing guitar, and the other one was a full production. And he actually sounded better on the raw version of it, which I've included on here, and had Darren Bernessel from McFadden's Parachute put a little drums on it, and it turned out pretty good. It's not too bad. So this one is still available from Jargon Music or Dave Anderson Studio. It's called Del Rivers and the Rockin' Gang. It's American Bootleg, if you want to know. Okay, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. But, you know, just like I said, wishing George a new gig up in heaven. And, you know, he did a lot of production for a lot of people. He also worked with Chris Beard on his CDs. I was actually there when he recorded 10 Toes Up, one of the songs that, you know, Chris Beard is known for. He's the son of Joe Beard, who's a blues legend here in Rochester and elsewhere. And Chris Beard, speaking, you know, of connections, I forgot about this. Brian Goodman played drums for Chris Beard when he played for maybe a year or 2 years before he moved to Albany area and joined the Susan the Surf Tones and Mockingbird Lane. Alright, well, this is a long one today. It's almost like a double length. You got almost 20 minutes worth of stuff. I hope you had a good time. I sure did. And hopefully we'll get some more improvements and get the bed cleaned off. So I can have some guests come in. Have a good day.